So yeah, I was gonna move on to the idea of Jon Jones as a viable heavyweight, and you know, based on a few things, like I want to believe in Jon Jones, but you watch a few of his last fights, and I think Dana White says the same things. He didn't look as dominant in the light heavy division in his last few fights. He talks about how much bigger and stronger he will be as a heavyweight. He cuts down all this weight to get to light heavyweight. But the reality of it is, he's really not a true heavyweight fighter in the same way that Daniel Cormier is not a true heavyweight fighter. Like if you look at Stipe and what's his name said it right. Oh man, what the hell's his name? The announcer, Joe Rogan said it right. He said, you look at Stipe coming in and getting in the cage, and there's no way he could cut down to 205. Not in any world imaginable could Stipe cut to 205. Could Verdum cut to 205? Could Francis Ngannou cut to 205?
Didn't Rumble cut down to a crazy amount back when he was fighting?
Rumble used to fight freaking middleweight, I think, lightweight, I think actually. Rumble Johnson, he's just a sponge. But the idea is this: do we fall into the same realm that do you talk about when we talk about how good can someone that isn't really a true heavyweight compete at the heavyweight division? And I think it's unproven in Jon Jones' cases. I don't think he gets a direct route straight to Stipe. He's got to fight. He's got to fight a journeyman guy. He's got to fight a stepping stone like Ngannou or Verdum, or who knows, maybe even a rematch with Gustafsson. But he's going to have to put in one or two heavyweight fights before he gets that Stipe fight. And I don't really know that it translates to that degree, because I think they're going to give him a true heavyweight to fight with when he comes in the fight. I don't think it's going to be a blown up Gustafsson.
I mean, assuming because I'm fairly confident he can make that first round. He can make that first test at heavyweight, just because he's that. I mean, his skills might have waned a little bit, but he's still Jon Jones. I feel like I can fully see him winning that first fight. This is not like Luke Rockhold where
no.
He's going up and it's crazy that he's going up and he just gets starched in the second round. This is Jon Jones, and he's earned that. He's earned my ability to see him winning whatever first test they give him at heavyweight. But what matchups are you interested in seeing? Because I don't know if I necessarily want to see him with Derek Lewis or even Ngannou.
Well, I think that Ngannou is a big money fight for him because they've already been jawing with one another, and Ngannou is this indomitable force in the heavyweight division. But I think Ngannou Stipe is going to be the next heavyweight fight. I think the next defense for Stipe is probably going to be against Francis Ngannou. Derek Lewis is a marketable fight for him. There's a couple other guys in that division that are marketable fights for him. The guy that Derek Lewis just knocked out, I can't remember, could be on the horizon because he's again.
Was it
the other African guy? I can't remember his name. The kickboxing guy.
Oh
well, no, Derek Lewis knocked him out. He fought again not too long ago. He just knocked out. Who did he fight this? Who did he fight this last weekend? He knocked somebody out this last weekend. I can't remember who it was, but it was on the undercard of the DC fight. It was a good fight. But anyway, there are lots of options for DC for Jon Jones to come back up and fight in the heavyweight division, and it's questions we'll have to answer.
Lewis just beat Alexei Olenek. That was who he beat.
Yeah, right. But there's another one. There's another one that
Ngannou just beat a different guy. I think that's that's what you're thinking of.
There's guys in the mix in that heavyweight division. For Richard Verdum could be a good matchup for Jon Jones to see how that goes down at heavyweight division. Jon Jones has to fight a real heavyweight and be able to feel that real heavyweight punch, or be able to feel that real heavyweight just weight on top of him in the clinch and pull him down and carry that weight around for 3 rounds and see how he fares against that. And if his little teep kicks and his ability to keep that range holds up, I think it will. But, I don't know if I see him beating Stipe, to tell you the truth. I think Stipe's too good.
I think that he would have to engage his jiu-jitsu a lot more than we've seen him do lately. And he's got purple belt. He's been at Submission Underground. He's very accustomed to the grapple game. What I think is interesting is that when like a while ago, he was people talked to him about going up to compete against DC at heavyweight to get that strap and sort of follow him. And he straight up admitted that he didn't feel comfortable giving DC that extra power, like that he didn't know if he could deal with that. So but now he's talking a lot differently. He's saying being at heavyweight will unlock my true genetic potential. All the bullshit that you got to say
he wants to get. He's got to sell it. He's got to promote it. He's got to get his name out there and sell it. He's going to be good at that. Of course, he's going to say he's the greatest. Of course, he can say he can do it because it benefits him now.
And he'll say that he's sparred with heavyweights and taken heavyweight punches in practice. He'll do all of that, and he probably has. But I don't even know what he walks around at.
The sad story is this, and this is the sadness of this whole thing. So 3 years ago, before the epic saga of Jon Jones begins to unravel around us after he beats DC, like if he's on top of the world with all of the steroid abuse and all of the drug abuse and all the issues that he has in his personal life, he's an automatic. Hell yeah, give him a heavyweight title fight. Pull him up right now because he's Jon Jones and on top of the world, and everyone wants to see that. But because he's been out of the conversation for so long, and now he's having to resort to all these little weird little pot shots and tweets and all these things he's doing to try to be like, hey, remember me? I'm Jon Jones. I'm still here. Let's talk a little trash so I can get up in the attention. Like, it's not the same marketable ability for him. And it's 3 years later, 4 years later, his skills just aren't the same. It's the bottom line. He did it to himself, whether he wants to believe it or not. And he still doesn't believe it. He still doesn't think he's done anything wrong. That's the sad part of it.
Well, I think the certain people in the industry and the media have had a hand in sort of coddling him, like always being, and, the UFC has welcomed him back. Dana, at the first time he said he'll never headline again, immediately headlining his next fight. It's this, I feel like the sport needs to get away from these central figures. And I think that's what is going to help us go forward. But I really don't know. He's one of the best, and his marketability speaks for itself. And people want a controversy. I think a lot of people tune in watching, hoping he'll lose, hoping that finally someone comes in and is better than Jon Jones. I was hoping Izzy would do it, truthfully.
Yeah, that's honestly, I like that fight better, that unification fight better than Jon Jones at heavyweight, to tell you the truth. But, Jon Jones is going to do what he wants to do, so.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I think Stipe takes that. I don't think Jon hasn't competed at heavyweight he's not used to that power.
He's not the same guy anymore. Whether he wants to believe it or not, he's just not. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it like he used to. Now he has to resort to all these things. One last thing on ending the Jon Jones discussion. Unfortunately, I say this all the time whenever I talk about Jon Jones. I just believe he's unremorseful, has no idea how bad he is and the things he does in his life, and doesn't care, thinks he's still freewheeling. The story of Jon Jones will not have a happy ending, and I think it's very sad to see that. I think we're in we're not done with Jon Jones's drama, and there's going to be something very sad that happens with that young man, because there's lots of things going on with him that need to be taken care of and need to be thought out and looked after.
Right. Well, all this aside, I'm not a fan of him, but I do wish that he has a good life. I wish that he fixes the demons that he has. Even DC kind of, they're so heated. But his most recent DUI, even DC was like, I don't want to trash a man when he's so down. And
even DC plowed off on him. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So Mr. Jones, I do wish you the best. It's clear you got some stuff, and we all have stuff, but we're also all on this planet together, so we can try and help each other out every now and again. So I think that's a good, positive, somber but positive note to end on.